Week Digest. In today's edition, Father Anthony Agnes will bring us a teaching on finishing your race. We'll also bring you the 50th anniversary of Reverend Brother Pius Ajiman XVD in religious life. Lastly, we'll end with some students from Pope John Senior High School and Minor Seminary being inaugurated into the League of Tacticians. Stay tuned.
But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. My dear viewers, these are the words of the prophet Isaiah. Isaiah made these words in chapter 40 of his book, verses 31. These are words on waiting for God to act, waiting on God patiently till your appointed time comes. This morning, I would like to reflect with you on the topic, on the reflection, finishing your race. I mean it. You have to finish the race. We are coming to the end of this beautiful year 2014. How far have you come? Advent started some 4 weeks ago. The race began. How far have you come? We are finishing off the season of Advent, the 4th Sunday of Advent. Indeed, that is beautiful. Many years ago in 1957, Ghanaians know this very well, on the eve of independence, one man made the following statement: at long last, the battle is ended, and Ghana, our beloved country, is free forever. These are the historic words of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on the eve of independence. When he made those beautiful words some years ago, they were not words that were made just for a day. Years Ghanaians have struggled to come out of colonial rule, to become independent. Yet, it took only one night to bring the end of waiting, the end to struggle, to give us our freedom. Yes, God does things in his own ways and at his own time. The story of the Israelites is similar. They began from somewhere, sometimes not knowing how they were ending. Yet, because God told them to keep on moving forward, to keep on moving on, they did. And in his own time, the Messiah appeared. For the last 4 weeks, we came to Mass, saw one candle burning. We were yearning for the second one. We saw it burning the second week. We were yearning for the third one. We say Rejoicing Sunday, Gaudete Sunday. I guess you remember that. And then it also burnt. Today, tomorrow, we shall light the fourth candle to complete this beautiful waiting. Look at that. At God's own time, everything becomes beautiful. Week by week, the candles were being lighted. Waiting patiently. Wait for God to light you. When you wait upon the Lord and the time comes, he lights you at his own time. That is why Isaiah made those words. But they that wait upon the Lord, for they that wait upon the Lord. It means that not everyone can wait upon the Lord. So waiting upon the Lord in itself is by grace. It's a gift. Many tried to wait upon the Lord and never did, never succeeded. By his grace and mercy, you have journeyed through 2014, and this whole year is over. It is true that God is part of this journey. It is God that has brought us this far. And so as you come to the 4th Sunday of Advent, we are looking already at Christmas, because Christmas is sure. God's promise is sure. When he promises, he fulfills. Nothing can hold back God's promise from coming to pass. Not even time. Let's look at the life of Abraham. Abraham, you are told in chapter 11 of Genesis, he was no man. Before chapter 11, no name was heard of Abraham. We are told in chapter 11, the concluding chapters, verses of that chapter, that his father decided to settle at a place. He had 3 sons. One got a child and died. The other married and had children. Abraham, the 3rd son, had no child. Why? Because his wife, Sarah, was barren. That was a huge problem. So the man took Abraham, the man took his daughter-in-law, and decided to walk with them to a different place, to change their environment, to change where they are living, hoping that God will show them again his mercy. What happened? Yes, when they journeyed on, going to Canaan, the man called it, they got to a place called Haran, and Abraham's father asked them to stay there and settle. Unfortunately, Abraham's father, Terah, died. That journey to Canaan never finished. They decided they were going to Canaan, but some circumstances made them settle at Haran, and Abraham's father died. So what happened to Abraham? He thought the journey was over. Okay, if God wants me to settle in Haran, I'm here. Not knowing God had a beautiful plan for him. When Abraham was 75 years old, now God spoke to him directly. Abraham, you must finish the journey. You must finish the race. Get up and go on to Canaan. Of course, God knows that. He didn't come to settle in Haran. He was on his way to Canaan. Circumstances made him settle at Haran. You're on the way to something better. God doesn't intend to leave you in your present situation. You must move on. Like Abraham, God intends you to reach your Canaan. God intends to reach your promised land. God intends you to reach your destiny. Yes, it is true. This is a promise. So Abraham took his family, 75 years old, and went on to Canaan. Waiting. He had to wait for over 25 years. I said 25 years. When he was 100, before he could see God's promise coming to pass. Having his son become the father of nations. There's also a story of Joseph in chapter 37 of Genesis, the same Genesis chapter. He was a man of dreams. He dreamed that one day he would be his brother's Lord. His brothers would bow before him. And yet, they sold him to slavery. He gave up. In slavery, he wasn't put into prison. But God told him that, look, Joseph, your place is not a prison. Your place is the palace. That is true. The prison that you are, the prison that you have put yourself into. You know, some of us have imprisoned ourselves with so many habits, bad habits, with so many sins, and we can't get out of them. They have become prisons for us. God doesn't intend you to wait there. Move on from your prison and get to your palace. The word of God came to Joseph. 7 years he was in prison, and yet once God fulfills promises, nothing stops him. After 7 years of being in prison, God placed him at his palace. Finish your race. How do you finish the race? I'm going to give you 3 ways to finish this race. 3 suggestions. 3 ways to finish your race for 2014, to finish the race for the Advent season. Number 1, thank God for how far he has brought you. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Thank God for how far he has brought you. Whether in good health or in bad health, he has sustained you. Whether you cried or you laughed, he has sustained you. Only those who are alive can hope for tomorrow. You may not know what tomorrow has for you, but if you know the one who brings about tomorrow, that makes a big difference. Yes. Don't worry if you don't know what tomorrow has for you. You know who has tomorrow for you. God knows what tomorrow will bring upon you. Look upon that rather. So let's thank God for how far he has brought us. Thank him for his gift of life, for your family, for your friends, for who you are, for what has become of you this year. Whatever situation you are today, thank God. So that is the first way to finish your race. Thanksgiving. Thank God for how far he has brought you. The second step to finish your race. correct your mistakes. Correct your mistakes. You know, as we journey towards the year, you will realize that on the way somehow you had made certain mistakes. Some of us made mistakes in our marriages, in our families, in our schools, in our education, in the decisions we took. You know, mistakes. And then some of these mistakes, unfortunately, are following us. Unfortunately, are not making us move on as we want to. This is a time of the year that you need to correct those mistakes. For those mistakes you call sins, go to your confessional and correct them there. God is there. Go to confession and correct those mistakes. Tell him how sorry you are and how you still love him despite your waywardness. And tell him that you still want him to be part of your life. Go to confession. Let a priest, in the name of God and the church, absolve you. And your life begins anew. It takes a new direction. A direction towards God himself. And so we are encouraged to correct the mistakes of this year. Mistakes that we have made against our husbands, against our wives, against our children, against our parents, against our friends, against our colleagues. This is the time to say, I am sorry. Make all the apologies in the world that you can give, you can make to those who have hurt along the way of 2014. Again, correcting your mistakes will mean that let go the hurts within you. Forgive anyone who has wronged you. Forgive them because your Heavenly Father forgives you. Forgive them. Don't carry anyone in your heart, any hurt in your heart, and carry it forward, as the finance people will say, to a new year. You know, whenever you are making a carry forward, it is only when you have a good balance that you're happy you are making a carry forward. Don't carry forward a deficit. Yes. Hurts, unforgiving hearts are all deficits in the spiritual life. You don't need to carry them forward into a new year. Correct the mistakes is the second step to finish your race. Now, the third step to finish your race. Strategize. Strategize for the future. You know, a new year comes and everything becomes new. Don't walk into a new year as if you have no vision. Imagine somebody jumps into his car, moves the car, and then you ask him, where are you going? And he says, I don't know. That would be a shame. That would be sad. That you don't know where you are going and you have moved your car. Don't walk in 2015 not knowing where you are going. Strategize. Plan. Plan about your spiritual growth. That in the new year, you want to make some resolutions. Going to church every Sunday. Going to church on time. Going to mass on time. Lateness should be over you. Let's go lateness to programs. That the new year, you're going to work harder. In the new year, you're going to love your family more. Have time for your family. The new year, you're going to grow spiritually. Attend retreats, recollections. Pray well. Strategize. Strategize. Plan. And when you have planned, then God himself will take control and drive you into a new year. And drive you throughout the new year. When God is driving you, you don't care where he's taking you. His plans for you are not plans to hurt you, but to give you a future full of hope. I'll end today's reflection with what we know of 1986, of that athlete who went to the race, the Olympics I say, to compete in a marathon at Mexico City. It is said that when the marathon started, with many other athletes, this man was running with all zeal. Unfortunately for him, he got hurt along the way. People asked him to stop the journey, to give up. He said they should bandage him. They bandaged him, then he got up and kept running, though limping and with blood even seen on the bandages. Now the first man finished the race, won the gold, somebody won the silver, another person won the bronze. People at the stadium thought that the race was over. They got up and they were leaving the stadium, only to hear a siren, the sound of a siren. Then all the spectators watched to see what was happening. They saw a man limping, the blood all over his legs, still running to finish the race, to cross the finish line. And as they were clapping for him, limping, struggling, he went on to cross the finish line. When the journalist came to him and asked, "You know you can't win any medal at this stage, so why did you waste your time to come all this way, all through this struggle?" What he gave to this journalist is something that you should never forget in your life. He said to him, "My country did not send me into the race to start, but to finish." God has not brought you into the race of 2014 to start, but to finish. Indeed, in the race of life, God starts and finishes. If God has started with you, be sure that he will finish with you. It is my prayer that as you look forward to Christmas in some few days to come, look forward to the new year, this God who is so wonderful, who keeps his promises, will keep his promise in your life. God bless you.